You all, we are not licensed professionals. You know, we are just here on this roller coaster called life, trying to be better friends to one another, trying to be better human beings on this planet. If you're tuning in, we are not opting out of therapy. We are not advocating that you listen to us and not see someone who is licensed and trained to help you with day-to-day life on how to cope and deal. So we advocate for therapy a lot here. We believe that everyone has something to talk to somebody about. So, just like to make that disclaimer that we're just here giving our opinions and having discussions week by week. And we're hoping that, you know, maybe you can find something useful, or if at least find a little humor in this terrible, terrible rock we call the world.
In other words, if you listen to our advice and you get popped in the mouth, don't at us.
Yeah, don't at me because you may get popped in the mouth again. Welcome to another episode of Friendship University, where, you know, we like to discuss the lost art of friendship, how to create, maintain, and operate with your friends, because friends are worth fighting for around these parts. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's fight. I'm Kristen, and I am joined by the Maleficent Miki.
That doesn't sound like a compliment.
Maleficent, I like her. And that's Angelina Jolie.
I've never seen it. To be honest, I heard good things about it. I've never seen it though.
I mean, yes. When I said it, I pictured Angelina Jolie in the costume that she was in, which was fabulous. So, yes, we're here. You know, how's it going?
It's going well.
You got one job. You got one job.
I ain't gonna hold y'all, folk. I'm
Here
feeling just as good as I did last episode because we recorded 2 episodes in a day.
We're not talking about it till it's supposed to be a joke next time. We already did that once before. The joke is next time now.
We're here now.
Jesus.
But no, I'm doing pretty good overall. You know, I have enjoyed my extended hangout with you, which is always lovely.
I can't relate.
I'm sure you can. But you know, doing pretty good. I've now transitioned to laying on the floor. So I'm looking up at my mic, which I'm not gonna lie, is pretty comfortable. You have a very nice rug.
Thank you. That's my I do my yoga and Pilates on that, which is why I don't allow, well, one of the reasons I don't allow shoes in my house, particularly on my rug, because I put my face and my body on it, so I don't want outside particles on it for sure.
Oh, valid. How are you feeling?
I'm good. You know, wishing niggas could do what they were supposed to do, but you know, everybody ain't got home training, so you can only do what you can. You can only work with what you got to get what you want.
You asked me to be on this podcast, so let's start with that.
And what? See how? And again, niggas got to throw things up in your face.
You knew what to expect from me.
Did I?
Unhingedness.
I asked, and you graciously accepted. At least not we forget. If we're gonna bring up the conversation, let's tell the whole conversation.
I was very honored, and actually, I've told the story. You've turned my day around when you asked me, but however, I did not say I was going to become a different person.
And nobody asked you to be a different person. I just asked you to follow certain protocols every now and then. It ain't even protocol. It's not even protocol. I was just saying, this nigga don't be setting nobody up for success. I'm trying to set us up for success, for future things, and he just want everything in the present. You have no patience. That's what it is.
I won't argue that.
No patience. That's what it is. So, we back. We beat for another episode. I hope y'all don't hear that.
I do.
I hope y'all don't hear that ground noise in the background as we move
Y'all need to start submitting donations because we need equipment.
We need equipment. We need all kinds of things. But listen, I did my part. I tested. Niggas was getting on me because I was trying to test the sound. So I said, I'm not testing again because whatever our sound person hear is what they hear. So you going to have to deal with whatever you hear when we get to the finish of this episode. So love you much. Mwah.
Insane.
Yeah. So, as you all know, if you're new here, if you're true to this, not new to this, we got episodes every Friday. Friendship Fridays.
Oh my God. Ew.
This is a disaster.
It's fine. You're so meticulous. You're a little adorable, Virgo. It's fine. Okay, let's do it. Let's take it from the top.
I'm not taking nothing from
3.
from what
Friendship
top?
Friday. Ew.
If you're new here, or if you're not new to this, you're true to this. We have episodes every Friday, Friendship Fridays, and
Ew.
now you just doing it on purpose. Now you just doing it on purpose. I'm not gonna let you get on my skin. What they say, you never take me out my element. No, take me out my element. That's what Kenny Kung Fu said. So I ain't gonna let you do that. So we are here to discuss another topic in friendship, y'all. It's an important time in the year happening. And I ain't talking about the holidays. I'm not talking about gift giving. I'm not talking about the turkey y'all gonna devour but then proclaim you on your fitness journey at January 1st. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about politics. We at election year. We have our midterm elections happening this year. We've got our House of Representatives. We got Senate seats being taken up. Our boy Joey did it. He's got 2 more years to prove to us why he should still stay in office. But this year, we're focusing on local officials and people who really matter, our Congress, because people really don't understand that the president does not hold all power. So we are at an important juncture. We are not at the presidential election just yet. Joe, Kamala, you got some time to just get it together. But, we got midterm elections happening. So we got Senate, Congress, all those things that people ignore because they feel like the president holds all of the power. But that's not how that works. Like, you need to make sure that the representatives that you send from your states that are going to DC to speak up for you are actually speaking up for you. So, we're going to be talking about friends with different political views, which is interesting because I don't think Mickey, do we have different political views?
Not. And when it comes to policies, no. You're more lenient, in my opinion, when it comes to certain political figures. Like, I'm lukewarm on Joe Biden and Kamikaze Harris. I know you enjoy them a good bit.
I don't enjoy them. I'm just very aware of the fact that what alternative did we have?
Nothing.
And
I would have took a paper bag at this point.
And I'm very aware of the fact that policies and different things, having studied politics, eventually probably going into politics one day, things take time. Policy making is one of the longest, most gruesome things that you could probably ever go through. You want to think about, they talk about diamonds take years and years to make. Policies take decades to make a lot of times. People will block. It's just a lot. So I'm just very aware of that. So I give a little grace. I'm not going to lie. I give a little grace to people who are in office because I'm like, sometimes I know they're doing the best they can with what they got.
I ain't got no more grace to give these people. I really don't. I no shade, no disrespect to... No, a lot of shade, a lot of disrespect to a lot of them.
To a lot of them, absolutely.
But we need to start holding these people to higher standards, period.
Absolutely. We should have been doing this beforehand. Like, And this is why I'm saying we're having this conversation now, because people really need to be aware of the primary elections that are happening with their Senate and their House of Representatives. Those seats matter. Like,
definitely do.
You know what I'm saying? We're in Georgia, so we got the incumbent radical Raphael Warnock.
and Daddy and Jon Ossoff.
We got that's not in Georgia.
Is Jon Ossoff not from Georgia?
Well, he's not running. So
is he not running in this race? I don't know.
No,
I just voted like a couple days ago, so I should know this.
We got radical Raphael Warnock and high as hell Herschel Walker.
Listen, Herschel.
Hershey's
Kiss, whatever the fuck.
I'm not even going to associate with him with Hershey's Kiss, because I like Hershey's Kisses. That nigga's crazy.
Insane.
Like, I don't even know with the propaganda that's been happening in Georgia. Is just the tip of the iceberg. We also have our the Libertarian, which is Chase Oliver. Which, sorry to this man,
I ain't gonna hold him.
Saw him in the street.
Wouldn't know him.
Wouldn't know. I mean, I know a little bit about him, but I'm not a libertarian, so I don't study him, and I don't really. I mean, he seems like a good guy, but
I have a confession.
It's no way you could be known in the minutia of like the propaganda that's happening with Raphael and Herschel.
I watch a lot of
no
YouTube.
way. Yeah,
and I see videos about both of them.
Ain't never
daily.
seen Chase.
Never.
And
I used to see Capital One commercial with Dan Levy every hour on the hour. Now it's Mahershala, whatever the fuck his name is, shot his baby mama or in the head or some shit, or Raphael Warnock's stealing your babies or some shit.
At gunpoint, and I thought my life was over. Listen, propaganda is something. Listen,
it's insane. I have a confession though about libertarians. So the very first election that I was legally allowed to vote in was Trump versus Hillary Clinton. Unfortunately, I was not old enough to vote for Obama, because I would have voted for him a trillion times over. I know he's not perfect. I don't think any politician is perfect. Far
Absolutely
from it.
Not.
But I would like to have voted in the first black president.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, that's when I started getting more into politics and stuff like that. But I was like, fuck Trump and fuck Hillary. Can't trust Trump because he's fucking batshit insane. Can't trust Hillary because she crooked Hillary or whatever the hell. Way too much
propaganda
had me. So my ass voted for the third party. Not really knowing what that meant. So essentially I kind of threw away my vote.
Which a lot of people did.
A lot of people did.
To be fair.
So it's kind of partially my fault that Trump won the first time. I didn't vote for him, but because I didn't vote for Hillary, it kind of was like voting for him. So that's on me. But at the time, I lived in Redneckistan, Georgia, so my vote really wouldn't have mattered much anyway. And no, that is not my way of telling people that your vote doesn't matter. Even if you live in the reddest, neckest of stands, you still need to vote.
Yeah, we are a vote or die podcast around here. Like, please exercise your right to vote. Seriously, like, I distinctly remember the apartment I was in on election night for Trump, or maybe a couple of days before, and they were like, "There's no way Trump's going to win." My roommate was like, "No way Trump's going to win," and I was like, "People didn't. There was either a surplus of people voting for Trump, people who didn't vote, or people who voted for the third party who knew nothing about libertarians." And so I was like, there's a very big chance, because at the end of the day, history repeats itself, and all you need is someone to stand up and say what you're thinking to feel empowered. That's all you really need. We had Obama, and we were like, okay, change has come. We're in a different world. Things are different now. Like, no, they weren't different. They were just going along with the times. That's what history does. It goes along with the times. So if 90% of people are saying I'm progressive, who's gonna stand up and say I'm the op? I'm your op? Who's gonna do that? Nobody. Not really nobody. And if they do, they're still going to be like silenced, because 90% of people are not listening to that. Once Trump started coming out and started saying some of the I'm talking about the craziest things I have ever heard out of a not even political, someone who had a platform, period. out of his mouth, and people were co-signing it, I said, oh, he has followers. That's all we need to know. That's all we need to know.
But yeah, I think we've reached our big orange Cheeto quota name for the episode, so we can move on from that. We all know what happened. We're all here, unfortunately. There is an alternate version of Earth in a different universe that did not have that happen. I'm sure they're doing great. Really happy for them.
Or they may be doing worse. He may got reelected for a second term.
Disgusting.
Tragic.
But anyway, so yeah, friends with different political views. I'm gonna just go ahead and address the elephant in the room, because Republicans, their mascot's an elephant, right? I know things.
Good.
I was saving that one. So in today's day and age, in our big age of 2023,
oh gosh,
and I may get some flack for this, but I don't really give a damn. Politics have become so divisive where I genuinely think you cannot have a sustainable, healthy relationship with someone who is on the other political party at this point. Because I'm not going to be able to hang around a Republican knowing damn well that they're going to vote for the people who want to have... They're voting for the people who are going to put people in power to kill me.
Right.
Take my rights away as a black or gay person. Take rights away of people I care about. Maybe I have trans friends or black females in my life I really care about. Where like now, I can't be friends with a Republican without looking at them constantly sideways. And that's not to say politics haven't always been divisive. I just haven't been as...
You haven't had to live through that, like, kind of...
Right. Like, when you're younger, you don't really, it doesn't really come across your head as much. It was like, this is what it means to vote for this person and what they believe in and stuff like that. Like, some kids are a lot more into politics than others. I was not one that was really big into politics. All I knew was that we had a black president, and that's all I cared about. My Lambo was blue. My president is black.
Okay.
That's all I cared about. So, like, but now that I'm more aware and, like, older and stuff like that, it's impossible for me. I don't know if that's closed-minded. I am not we need to reach across the aisle and we need to be brothers in arms. Honestly, we don't. We're good. They're not going to change.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been through hella shit versus, the Cheeto being like the worst thing that ever happened to this country or one of the worst things that happened to this country.
And I just feel offended that we call him a Cheeto because I like Cheetos. I do
like Cheeto Puffs. What's something that's bad that's orange?
Suntan lotion. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess everything with orange is pretty delightful. Like, I like oranges and stuff. Anyway, but yeah, like, I just can't do that now. Like I said, I'm not trying to reach across the aisle. I'm not trying to convince them, like, what you think is wrong. People who are on that train now, especially with the party, the Republican Party has become, you're too far gone. There's nothing I can do for you.
So gone over you. Yeah. New Monica.
Nothing.
Lunica say it. You're right.
I can't help. Listen, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, actually. Now, when it comes to friends who have slightly different political views, like as far as like certain policies,
we talking
depends on the policy.
Very like minute
specific things. Like we can't disagree on abortion. Well, no, we really can't disagree on abortion.
Disagree. It's there is no way. Like, and that's the thing about politics, right? They are so gung ho on the big topics of things where it's like we draw like political parties down to like, it's about money or it's about policy and different things. And yes, it is about that, but it's also like decency and human rights, and it's just kind of like, I don't know, because I'm not gonna hold you. So I know that I'm gonna be in certain tax brackets where being a Republican will probably be more beneficial for me for my money. And I feel like those are going to be moments where I'm going to have to battle like morality versus monetary income. Right? Cuz even now, like, again, not going to hold you, like the amount of money I was making, it probably would have potentially been better for me to like be on another political realm. But I mean, and I'm not saying like I was so close to like millionaire status, not by any means necessary, but like I could have done certain things and supported certain people who I knew would like not tax me the way that I've been taxed, because I was getting thousands upon thousands of dollars taken out of my. I'm like, dang. So
just for these roads have potholes in them.
Just for me to pull out and my tire to get popped immediately because there's a pothole. But again, that's why you need to be aware of who handles what, because that's not your big officials. That's your local officials. So you need to know who to contact, because, you know, I'm on the phone. The bush by my house gets cut every 2 weeks because those niggas want us to die. It's a very dangerous like bush, fig tree bush that comes out. Love it to death. Don't want it cut down, but don't let it get out of control. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I would say I probably had Republican friends in college. And I use the term friend loosely because now I'm realizing we probably were not really ever friends. Maybe. I think we also put like political parties into race. So like black people are normally Democrats and white people are normally Republicans. And it's not even really about that. It's just like, for me, now I equate politics to morality. And I know that's a term that you don't normally put in conjunction with politics. Like you never say politics and morality because people are like, well, politicians are never really ever moral and never. But I do think some people are like for the greater good of the people, and they go, just like police officers, right? Or people who are the few who go into these fields who have really a mind or a heart to change things. So I can't think the last person that I had that was a different political party from me. We stopped being friends after the abortion ban.
Oh, so pretty recent.
So pretty recent. Yeah. We had some conversations and everything was fine up until that point. I mean, we had some disagreements and we would like have our spats here or there, but we would always get over it. But when they were showing the emotion that they showed for what happened with the Supreme Court justice, I was like, okay, well, I don't know if we can rock steady.
Absolutely not. And the funny thing is, as I say, I can't have friends from different political views. It's weird because I know for a fact I have friends who have actively voted for that idiot. Did they give you a reason though?
Did they give you a reason why he voted?
We don't talk about it. That's the thing.
Like, what was the reason? Because you didn't want to pay. If I don't mean to cut you off, but if you tell me like I voted for him because I didn't want to pay $250,000 in taxes, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna completely understand, but I may gulp a little bit. I may, okay, $250,000 is a lot of money. Okay,
because it kind of changed. It's weird. So here's the reason it's weird with the people I'm referring to, and it's like we're not, like I said, we're not close friends. Like all my close friends, I do not support that lifestyle. Thank fucking God. But
that's the reason they're close friends.
Exactly. But like those niche acquaintancy friends where like maybe you see them at the club pretty frequently, or you run into them because you're hanging out with another friend. I have a few of those where like I know for a fact that they went that direction with their policy or politics or whatever. One, we don't talk about it because if we do talk about it, it probably won't end up into like a spat, anger, whatever kind of conversation. And again, I feel like it's impossible to change those people's minds at this point. They're gonna vote for what they vote for or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't have that kind of energy to do that. The other thing that makes it really tricky, because I'm happy you brought up the money side of it. I personally have never made a tremendous amount of money where I think I would go that direction. So I'm speaking with broke people brain right now. So like if I wasn't,
you're not broke. You're just not what they consider.
I'm not financially well off, or wealthy or whatever. So like maybe if I was wealthy, maybe my brain would change. But then I also think about like coons like Kanye West and unfortunately Terry Crews. Good who?
R.I.P.
So like I would feel like crap if I was just I got money now, so fuck the block. Don't really need to help y'all out anymore. I'm good.
You just never know though. Like that those kinds of those amounts of money, this is why it says like the love of money is the root of all evil. Not money itself, but the love of money is the root of all evil. Because like you can have access to money, an abundance, and it will show what's really in your heart, what you really want. You may not perpetuate that when you're broke, but when you have an abundance of access to different things, it may show like, I don't care about nobody. I'm good. My family good. My people good.
Like I said, that's why I said I'm using my broke person brain right now for a problem that I haven't experienced yet. But I would like to think I wouldn't change that way. But you never know.
You change out. I'll take you out.
Who knows? Maybe. Oh my God, what if they do say money shows out your real colors, so I'll probably get more anxious and more suicidal.
I don't know about that.
But anyway, but the reason it's weird with those acquaintances for this situation is like where they do associate with the people that party typically doesn't hate, like gay people or black people, and they're very supportive of them. Like they go to Pride and they don't judge. Like they're like, yes, I love having gay friends. That's why it's confusing, because you're like, okay, on one half you're like, you're okay with this, like you don't scoff or judge or whatever, at least not on the outside. You maybe do it on the inside, but at the same time you're also voting for people who would actively fuck over that person. So it's weird. And it's weird for me to navigate those kind of relationships.
Did they ever like talk about how that works?
Typically I just associate it. They never talked about it. Like I said, I typically avoid the politics conversation with most people because I don't need to know what shitty things people believe in. I mean, I do need to know for the sake of like a relationship with that person, but I also at the same time like, I don't know if I want to hear your reasoning because it'll just piss me off. But I'm going to equate it probably one, upbringing. People are typically raised into their political party that they'll end up being in for the rest of their life.
Right.
The money thing, like the people I'm referring to typically did make more money. So like, I guess Republicans help you keep more money in your pocket. I don't know. I've been broke, maybe Republican or Democrat. So fake news on both sides. It doesn't matter who's been in office. I've been broke both times. So there's that. But yeah, like I said, it's weird to navigate those kind of things. Again, I don't really call them close friends. Most of my close friends, again, actually not even most. All my close friends, we do have those conversations and we know like, okay, we're not doing this shit. We're gonna vote for this person. So I'm not going to say it's impossible to have friends from a different political party, but it's tricky. It's very tricky. Because there's this large elephant in the room where you're like, okay, like, your party just, banned abortion and, next is interracial and gay marriage. Like, I know you want your pocket, but if you love these people, why are you voting for these people? Like, if you love this group of people who are going to be actively fucked, if you vote for them, then why would you vote for that person who's going to actively fuck over that person?
Are you friends with any of these people still?
No. You remember a couple episodes ago where I talked about when the George Floyd thing kind of happened and then people's real colors showed out when they didn't go protest or did protest, whatever. It's that little niche group of people that, it opened up my eyes about like, oh wow, you have some pretty out there thoughts. Listen, I will say QAnon, whatever, has made it really easy to pull out the crazies. When I see you retweeting Alex Jones or fucking Tucker Carlson, I'm like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. Got it. I will say there is one Republican person who I absolutely love, but I don't love her because of who she is. I think it's hilarious just to watch her videos because it's just, she's wild. Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh my god.
That's my homegirl. I hate her, but that's my homegirl because it's always entertaining to see her do something.
I wouldn't say she's a homegirl.
Oh no, she's not my home. She's someone's homegirl. She's not mine. But old girl be hilarious. She shouldn't be in office. Let me make that very clear. I don't support her. I don't like her. She's a shitty human being. But she stay having me laugh. Like the Republican Party is just a comedic show at this point.
It really
Remember
is.
They had that rally for the Trump whatever, and it was at a gas station.
Remember they had that rally for Trump, and that black man was selling those shirts and T-shirts, and he was like, I'm not a Trump fan. I just knew I could make money out here.
He was out here at the Trump rally and selling Trump flags, Make America Great Again hats and memorabilia.
And made thousands of pounds.
And an interviewer walked up and were like, so I see you're selling merch. Do you believe this? And he was like, no,
I'm just selling merch.
Make some money. And that's the way to stick it to the man, because that's some shit I would do.
Okay. And that interview did not come out until after my dude made his coins, so I appreciate
for his safety.
it.
But yeah, especially nowadays, politics are supercharged. Like there's so much divisiveness where I do think it is genuinely difficult to have a close friendship with someone of a different party. When it comes to policies, I'm a little bit more lenient depending on what the policy is.
I think policies go into the political party, though.
It varies to an extent. Like, yes, there are usually associations with certain policies to certain parties, like, anti-abortion, anti-gay, blah, 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 Republican, pro-abortion, pro-transgender rights, Democrat, whatever. However, there are, and this is also where it becomes tricky again, where, and I really hate to say this, it burns me up in my soul, I also understand not every single Republican is that way.
Yeah, and not every Democrat or libertarian. It's the same. Yeah.
So that's also where the lines get difficult, where it's like, okay, we can have different policy views, and sure, we may not be on the same party. Because I do like the situations where I have those Republican acquaintances where like they do believe gays should have like rights and things, but they also think abortion should be banned. So it's like this is tricky. Again, I think it depends on the policy. Speaking personally, you have to support gay marriage. You have to support the blacks. I mean, people of color in general. You got to care about the environment because the earth is burning. But like smaller things like how much America should be spending on this, how much should we be investing in other countries and stuff like that. Those are things that I can be a little bit more flexible on because most of those things, I mean, they directly affect me, but they also kind of go over my head. Like I can't really fathom what billions of dollars really is. I never had $1 billion. So like America spending, I don't know, $40 billion on like defense. Like I'm sure that is outrageous, all things considered, but like I can't conceptualize what that really means to like day-to-day people. So like if you think America should have a big budget for our armed forces, cool. I don't really have an opinion on that. But the other ones, like I said, abortion or gay rights, like if you're like, nah, the gays should all burn, obviously we can't be friends because hello, I'm a homosexual. Are you a homosexual?
Homosexual.
So that's kind of where I am with it. Honestly, like it's just, I can't think of a single close Republican friend I have at this point in time. Even growing up, I would say the quote unquote close friends that I had were Republican. We weren't really all that close. When you're young, you spend, 40 hours a week in school and you're around them all the time. Like you kind of build that like friendship association to an extent, and you kind of have no choice but to. But now that I get to like choose my friends, for lack of a better term, nah, I'm good. I'm good, love. Thanks. Enjoy.
Okay. I think so. Haven't always been into politics. I don't know. I have had instances where I have interacted with other political parties. I mean, even like doing the student United Nations and the student African UN and just different things like that. It's just kind of like you meet certain officials and you're just kind of like, okay, you learn different things like from different countries. You're just kind of like, America is actually not the only person going through this, who are just trying to figure out like who's on whose side. I think it's kind of like similar, where maybe at one point you thought, okay, well, this person is voting for this elected official who may not be on the side that you're on because they are saying something that makes sense to them for their immediate life. But at the end of the day, like, we have to realize, like, elected officials are still going to partner with people who are in alignment with whatever their policies are. So if an elected official's policy is something that initially goes against what you thought about or you thought was right for your life, eventually down the line it's going to not go in correlation with whatever you thought was going to go with your life, period. So I did have, like I said earlier, I did have some friends who were Republicans, like in college. I even had some friends who were libertarians, and like, I'm not against libertarians. I'm still actually learning about libertarians and like what that actually means and like what it means to be a libertarian. But for me right now, it just kind of seems like anyone who is going against what directly affects me, which is what politics is, right? Like, it's just like, for the United States, I should say, anything that's going against what directly affects me and what is going to directly affect my life and how I operate on a day-to-day basis is what's going to predict what I vote for. Is what I have been going towards, and that's Democrat for now. Like I said before, like, there were instances where I was like, well, I mean, maybe being Republican monetarily would be more an advantage for me, but like morally it wouldn't, because if I vote someone in who is like gonna, because at the end of the day, like, you don't just vote one person in. What I realized, you don't just vote one person in Republican and then that's just the end of. I know your ballot, you have certain check marks, but if you're looking at these ads, if you're following the propaganda, like, you're gonna vote for whoever is under those like jurisdictions, because like, we're seeing radical Raphael Warnock and like and Herschel Walker and all these people, and you're gonna like remember that when you go into the ballot and think about who's under Raphael Warnock, who's on this ballot, blah 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 blah, and who's on this side, da 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 da. So it's just so interesting. I'm just like, I've never really had to have a serious conversation with someone at this point. A lot of the people who had opposite political views from me were in my younger years, I would say.
That's fair. I think it's also where we're located. We're in Atlanta, so probably most people we run into are going to be on the blue side. Which also here in Atlanta,
not in the city.
Atlanta's a different state.
Okay, you're not gonna find someone talking about because we got a governor coming up too, and we got babbling Brian Kemp. And steadfast Stacey Abrams coming up.
Better with the Brian Kemp, bitch ass Brian Kemp. There we go.
I agree with that too. That was off the dome. So
listen, I'm gonna go ahead and just put this out in the air now, so it doesn't become a surprise for you, and also because I can reference this later if you go Republican, we gonna be throwing hands. And that's just that on that. It's just that on that. I don't care if you make $2 billion a year. You better make sure you vote right. Because if I can't get married because you want to protect your wallet, girl, I'm going to rob you blind.
Well, you better be ready to be robbing. It's robbing season. The nigga said, put it up. It's robbing season. Who was it? Yeba. She said it's robbing season, girl. It's robbing season. Better put it up.
I'm watching you. I
don't know. You better put it up. So are you saying you could never be friends with someone who's not on the same political party as you?
Not at this time. Now, if the Republicans want to chill out and get their shit together and stop trying to get people killed and, you know, taking people's rights away and trying to make America a handmaid's tale, maybe.
I think that's what's happening. Well, like I said before, history repeats itself. So I feel like we're in a time where the divide is so strong. You have to be on a side because it's so pivotal for you to be on a side, because we have to see where you stand. Before Trump, there was a blurred line. We had the gray area where it was like, no, you didn't have to say anything. Like, for me, this is what I see in my mind because I'm very visual. Like, you didn't have to say where you stood. You could just be like, okay, well, I feel this way on this and I feel this way on that. But like, it's so many people who are like, no, we want this. This is what it is. It's almost like segregation time. So it was no in between. Like, you were for us or you were against us, period.
Unfortunately, that's kind of where I am. And maybe that's just like the environment America has bred, so I might have fell into it.
Yeah, I think I think that is the time that we are in now.
Yeah, I'm trying to apologize, but I really can't. At least at this very point in time, again, I can't see any blurring of those lines. And also, just to clarify, this is not me saying the Democrats are absolved of all their shit too.
Absolutely,
they're just. I have no choice but to vote for them.
Okay, because let me tell you something. I mean, it's made a bit for you, but for me, God is the ultimate judge. So I'm here. I am just voting. I'm doing what I need to do because I'm on earth and I'm subjected to the jurisdiction of the leaders that are put upon me. So, you know, my faith is not in who is voted in.
Absolutely.
But I will vote who I feel like needs to be in. Period.
And also with that tangent, and again, this is making me like throw up in my mouth. If we somehow, some way had a equally divisive and awful Democratic president, there might be a situation where I'd be like, you're awful, like you are complete shit, just like the other Republican we have talked about so much in this podcast. We're like, maybe I would have no choice but to go Republican if they're just that shitty. If they're like, yeah, you know, America, let's just go ahead and blow it up. You know, it's awful. Let's just go ahead and nuke ourselves. I'm like, well, I don't know if I really should do that. So it's weird. It's very weird. Politics are stupid to me. I don't really understand all the politics, honestly. I should probably do a lot more looking into how it all works, but
you just have to understand what's happening in the time it's happening, right? So like, we're seeing all this propaganda now with elections because it's primary elections, because Senate, Congress, House of Representatives, whatever, which matter, but a lot of people only pay attention to presidential elections. So like, paying attention now to what's happening in your state, like who's running for your Senate seat, who's running for your House of Representatives, who's running for your Secretary of State, like who are the people who are running for those seats matter, because they are going to go to DC and they're going to speak on your behalf for your state. So you need to be aware of like who you're voting in on those matters. And a lot of times there are a lot of incumbents who win just based off the bat that people don't know. So they just vote for whose name they've seen before. But just do a little bit of research. Maybe y'all try to like find some links for research for different states, or like where you can see about the people running in your area.
I'm sure there's plenty of websites like that.
Yeah, maybe I can post some links. We can post some like reference data where you can go and kind of research, because it's very important for your local officials to be held accountable, because they are the people who are going to make a difference in your state at the end of the day. So that is the gulf of it, I think. So Mickey, your final thoughts. Do you feel like you can be like friends with someone who is not your same?
Start with an N, then an O.
Ends with an O.
Period. No, I just can't do it right now.
Yeah, I don't think so
if they want to get their shit together, maybe. And also, I'm sure they probably think the same thing about us as well. Where they're like, I will never be friends with a Democrat. Them fucking weirdos and trans blah blah blah, and the baby killers and the baby eaters or whatever.
Not baby eaters.
I'll let them think what they want to think. I'll think what I want to think, and we can just stop right there.
Okay. Well, same. I don't know if at this point I can be friends with someone who is not the same political party as me. But Georgia, remember, we have like our Senate voting coming up, our governor, we've got the Secretary of State, we've got the Attorney General. Please look into those ballots. Please make sure you're paying attention. This is not just for the state of Georgia. This is for multiple states. These are like the primary elections. These people are going to make a difference when they get to DC, because they're going to be speaking on your behalf. So make sure that you are paying attention to the people that you vote into office on this ballot in those positions. So, final word for voting.
Early voting started. And the official voting date is November 3rd. I'm not sure. I think this episode will come out, I don't know when. But go vote. Yes, it's very important.
Go vote. Yes. Vote or die, as they say back when it actually meant something. Okay? So, if you have anything that you would like to say to us, if you have any information or any kind of like conversation around having had friends that are in different political realms of you, you can email us at thefriendshipuniversity@gmail.com. We are also on Instagram, Friendship University, and we're on Twitter at Funny Podcast. That's FUNIPODCAST. Let us know, and please rate us when you get a chance. It's an easy way to make sure that we can keep giving you this content week over week. We're trying our best, and we want to keep talking to you all and giving you this content. So just look out for us. Rate us when you can. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Let us know how you feel. We out.
Bye.